The throne room of the Eternal Court fell into absolute silence as Bralana, the ancient vampire queen, staggered backward from the human prisoner. Her crimson eyes, which had witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations over 3 millennia, widened with something her subjects had never seen before: fear. Princeton stood chained in the center of the obsidian chamber, his worn military fatigues torn and stained with dried blood. He had been captured during humanity's desperate last stand against the vampire armada at the Proxima colony. Now, brought before the queen herself, he should have been terrified. Instead, his hazel eyes met hers with defiant calm. "Impossible," Bralana whispered, her pale hands trembling. What are you?" Her courtiers exchanged confused glances. For centuries, Bralana had used her telepathic abilities to extract secrets from the minds of countless species. Across the galaxy, humans, the vampires had discovered, possessed remarkably open minds, easy to read, simple to manipulate. It was one reason why humanity's resistance had crumbled so quickly. But this human was different. Bralana had reached into Princeton's consciousness, expecting to find the usual chaos of human thought: fear, anger, desperate prayers. What she found instead had shaken her to her ancient core. "Your Eternal Majesty, Lord Keseth," her chief advisor, stepped forward. "What troubles you?" "The human is secured. He cannot." Silence. Bralana's voice cracked like thunder. She couldn't tear her gaze away from Princeton. "Leave us, all of you." "But my queen now." The courtiers fled, their footsteps echoing through the vaulted chamber until only the queen and her prisoner remained. Bralana circled Princeton slowly, her black gown flowing like liquid shadow across the polished floor. "How?" she demanded. "How can one human mind contain such vastness?" Princeton smiled grimly. "You vampires have ruled the galaxy for what, 10,000 years? You've conquered hundreds of worlds, absorbed countless species into your empire." He paused, his chains clinking softly. "But you never bothered to understand what makes humans different." Bralana's telepathic probe had revealed something that defied everything she knew about sentient minds. Princeton's consciousness wasn't just his own, it was connected, linked. She had glimpsed billions of human minds, all somehow threaded together in an invisible network spanning light years. "The neural collective," Princeton said, watching her reaction. "Every human who's ever lived, every memory, every experience, accessible to all of us. You thought our minds were simple because you only saw the surface. You never looked deep enough." The queen's composure cracked further. "That's impossible. We would have detected such technology. Our sensors, it's not technology." Princeton's voice was steady, almost pitiful. "It's evolution. It's what happens when a species spends 100,000 years learning to communicate, to empathize, to share stories around fires under alien stars. We didn't build the connection, Your Majesty. We are the connection." Bralana had touched that network for only a fraction of a second, but in that moment, she had experienced the full weight of human collective consciousness. She had felt the love of billions of mothers for their children, the grief of soldiers dying in forgotten wars, the joy of scientists making breakthrough discoveries, the determination of rebels fighting impossible odds, and the memories. Oh, the memories. She had seen Earth, the birth world, burning under vampire bombardment. She had felt the deaths of 3 billion humans in the initial invasion, each loss rippling through the collective like a wound that would never heal. But she had also felt something else, an absolute, unshakable conviction that humanity would survive, that they would adapt, that they would win. "You vampires live so long," Princeton continued, "that you've forgotten what it means to truly die. Each of you is an island, isolated, immortal, alone. When one of you falls, their knowledge, their experiences die with them." He leaned forward against his chains. "But humans, we're immortal in a way you'll never understand. Every human who's ever lived still exists in the collective. Every ancestor, every hero, every scientist and artist and warrior. We carry them with us, always." Bralana backed away, her ancient confidence shattered. She had glimpsed the strategic implications immediately. Every human soldier shared tactical information instantaneously across any distance. Every scientist had access to the complete sum of human knowledge. Every human knew exactly what the vampires had done and exactly how humanity planned to respond. The defeats, she breathed. At Kepler Station, at the Centauri gates, you weren't just winning battles. You were learning, adapting, all of you, simultaneously. Now you're beginning to understand. Princeton's smile was sad but resolute. You thought capturing me would give you intelligence about human operations. Instead, I gave you something far more valuable, the truth. The Queen's mind raced. The vampire empire had conquered through superior technology and immortal tactical genius. But humans had weaponized something far more powerful. Their fundamental nature is social. Connected beings. They had turned their greatest vulnerability, their short lifespans, into their greatest strength. We can still crush you, Bralana said, but her voice lacked conviction. Our fleets are being systematically destroyed. Princeton's eyes gleamed. By forces that know every tactic you've ever used, informed by every battle you've ever fought, guided by the collective experience of a species that spent millennia surviving against impossible odds. Bralana felt something she hadn't experienced in 3,000 years. The cold touch of inevitability. She had peered into Princeton's mind expecting to find a weapon to use against humanity. Instead, she had discovered the terrifying truth that would doom her empire. Humanity couldn't be conquered because humanity couldn't be killed. Not really. Not as long as a single human remained connected to the vast network of consciousness that bound them together across the stars. The vampire queen, ancient and powerful, stood in her throne room and finally understood why she should be afraid. Princeton watched her face carefully. "You can kill me," he said quietly. "It won't matter. I'm already sharing everything I've learned here with every human in the galaxy, including the coordinates of this facility, far above." The first human warships dropped out of hyperspace. The silence in the throne room was absolute.